You know, guys, she can't ensure that there's no fighting.
Greetings from the void. My name is Nullamore, and this is Journey Through Miro, and these are my boys. Say hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
Womp womp.
And they are going to introduce themselves now, starting with, not biased at all in favorite character, but my fiance.
Oh, shucks. Hello, I'm Stephen the Stole, Stephen the Stole on TikTok, Lone Jedi 100. On YouTube, Stephen the Stole on Patreon. I have one of those. There's cute pictures of my boy. My YouTube, however, is plastered of D&D sessions that involve my woman over here, who is no longer allowing us to see her beautiful face. That is also a game that is also starred in by this gentleman down here, and one Halloween edition that was starred in by this gentleman over there. And yeah, I do theology, apologetics. I just did a New Year's episode of my podcast. That is
The comeback tour.
It is still deep in hiatus, but there was a shining through little hello, how are ya? Here's how I'm doing.
You thought I was dead. Think again. So, hello. I am the Black Doctor. I play Balgroth the Dark here on Journey Through Miro. The sort of died, but also came back to life. Half orc, also not half orc, also skeleton head. And you can find me on under the Black Doctor or Black Doctor 21 on TikTok, YouTube, Patreon, Instagram, all that good stuff.
And I am at Del Jitsu on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram in that order. And I bruised my pinky today under the fingernail, so that kind of stinks. And I play the role of Uzziah Yeager, Magus Extraordinaire, Savior of Balgroth, and Leader of the Hands of Vengeance.
Also murderer of Balgroth.
Oh, a ritual murdered you. I brought you back.
Oh yeah, Rich. Yeah, who was performing the ritual?
Wizards don't murder people. Spells kill people.
All right.
Jeez.
So who has a recap? I don't know. I was trying to say backtrack. Who has a recap of what happened last episode?
Well, apparently we leveled up, allegedly.
Yes, but what was the reason for why we allegedly leveled up? Yeah, we fought a bunch of we fought a bunch of sea monsters during a huge storm while we were looking for the traitor or the spy in the kingdom. There was this huge storm, and a whole bunch of sea monsters came up, and we tried to continue killing them, thinking that it would cause them to return back to the sea, but apparently they didn't, because the only way they would come back is because the storm would stop and they would return then. So yeah, that's pretty much all I remember. What happened was just a lot of fighting, and Yip Yap almost died again.
He did, but he lived.
All right. And where we left off, and that's inspiration for Jeremiah, where we left off, you all decided on Balgroth's idea to head to the temple in order to get free healing. Was that correct?
Yes.
Yep. Good.
Right. So we'll zoom in to the kingdom once again.
Drag me.
And you three, along with Astal, who Yip Yap found during the fight, you all walk into the temple, and there are a lot more people there this time than there was earlier that day. It seems a lot of people came here to find shelter from the rain. And now a bunch of people are either sort of sitting in the large circular entrance of the building, whereas others are sort of creating lines of sort at different hallways of deities.
Nice.
I basically make a beeline for the space of the Tylurian, just sort of trying to keep an eye out on anything suspicious on the way.
All right. What about?
Yeah, I guess I'll follow him there.
Okay.
Yep, we'll follow.
You all walk towards the Tellurian Hall, which is not one of. It's busy, but it's not as busy as some of the other ones. And there are people sort of not pushing. Everyone is rather polite about it to an extent. Younger people are sort of shovey with their personal space, but most people are calmly waiting to sit and pray or reflect in some way about the storm. And there is a man in robes standing at the front of the hall. There's one standing in the front of every hall, wearing different colored robes. The one in front of the Tellurian Hall has robes of a sort of deep brown, like dirt after a fresh rain, and with some sort of green hemming on the sleeves and the end of the robe. And his hood is down, and it's a rather young-looking man, just standing there and nodding or softly speaking with some people who walk by.
I walk up to him.
He nods at you, and he immediately, unlike some other people, notices the insignia or emblem on your armor that represents the Tellurian, along with your royal symbol. Hello. Welcome to the temple.
I am grateful I have been here before, but never once, not once did I see you. Who are you, wise one?
Well, I am Ro, and I am new. I usually work behind the scenes, in a way. This is my first time being a greeter, so I'm trying to be as polite and welcoming as I was taught to be.
I see. Have you? What exactly have you heard about the goings around here, especially about the storm and everything else that's been going on?
Well, the storm was sort of was expected in some senses. I didn't know it was going to start today. The prophets were very vague on the details of that, but I am glad that it was over quickly.
I see. So the prophets foretold about this. Did they warn anyone? Apparently, they warned you.
The prophets of the vast, there's two of them, sisters, and they are typically right on the dot when it comes to knowing when the storms are going to happen. But they tell the people of the temple, if asked.
I see. Well, I suppose maybe later, as after we speak to the, he sort of looks ahead to see the other guy speaking at the end of the hallway. I suppose the head priest. I suppose we should talk to the prophetesses after we see him. Thank you for your hospitality.
Of course. I'm glad to help.
He bows his head in honor and says, "The Tylurian bless you," as he continues down the hall.
Okay.
And
Are you
I
going?
suppose, well, oh well, I suppose, I guess, as everyone's been walking down this particular hallway, um, and after talking to the young greeter, my shelter of the faithful activates, basically
A
healing everyone.
Nice.
I didn't hear what you said
Oh,
after.
yeah, it basically heals everyone.
So it automatically heals everyone. Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah. You all are back at max health and all that.
All right.
Are you so you're looking for a higher priest of the Tellurian or of the temple itself?
Primarily of the Tylurian, but just in case I see anyone, or if not, we'll just head over to the prophetesses after we look.
Roll a perception.
Yo, I don't see nothing, fam.
Ah, there it is. So there's a lot of people milling about, and are still figuring out how to recognize the people who work at the temple rather than the people who just worship at it. So people's robes and the colors, you could make a better guess, given with Rose attire, that the specifically Tylurian priests would probably be wearing brown or green hues.
Hmm.
And there are a couple of those around. A lot of them are kind of in the center of the room, along with other robed workers, priests, helping people, directing people to which hall they would like to go to.
Hmm. Well, I basically walk up to one and ask them, I guess, for the uh, to see or so to get some information out of the prophetesses, or at least where they are, of the vast.
An old man in a sort of, not exactly onyx, but a deep, shiny sort of black color robe, turns and smiles at you. The prophetess. Why do you wish to speak with them?
Well, just I was seeing if I could gather some information about this storm and everything that was going on with it. It is very strange that some of these things end up happening, or at least strange to me. And apparently, from what I heard from one of the greeters, that this was prophesied. So I'm trying to figure out, did the entire city know about this? Just only particular people? If this was supposed to be this apparent and dangerous thing, why wasn't everyone warned about it?
Hmm.
I see. You are new. Well, we welcome all newcomers and visitors. And I understand it is not common knowledge in the rest of Glenville to know about the Stormbringer further down the coast. It is a relatively new, how can I put it? Relic, I suppose would be the correct term.
Hmm.
I am quite knowledgeable on it myself. The prophetess are tired after helping with the storm. I am more than willing to answer any questions you might have, though I am a priest of Svelda, not the Vast.
Hmm.
If most of them are quite busy, though, as well.
I see.
So you don't have vast knowledge?
He sort of
Yeah,
chuckles.
he's he's sort of good at those. So I'm just trying to get as much information as I can because apparently this brought a whole bunch of panic upon the city for what it looked like. Um, and apparently, from what I heard, there was some other commotion going on in the city as well.
Well, the where were you when the storm began?
We were at the docks.
That explains the panic that you might have seen. Most of the city are rather accustomed to these storms now and understands where to go in case of one. However, people at the docks have a much more hurried state of mind in order to keep everything clean and neat. But there are priorities set when things like this happen, and a top priority is making sure all citizens are safe in some way.
I see. He sort of only he can pretty much sense this, but he huffs behind his mask, um, and he begins to sort of look to the others to see if they have anything to ask him, because he feels like he's not going to get anywhere.
No.
Alrighty then.
Well,
Well, thank you for your time.
yes. I could point you. Where did she go? I just saw her robes. Ah, over there. And he kind of points. He is a tall man. He's not taller than Balgroth, but he's very lanky, which gives him the appearance of being taller in a way. And he
Mhm.
points out over the crowd towards a sort of instrumental pit section next to the raised stage at the end of the room. And there are some other robed workers milling around there. Their hoods are down, some have their hoods up still, and they are sort of just talking amongst themselves. And among them is a young woman wearing light blue robes. Um, Sort of just people watching. I think she may be more able to answer your specific questions.
He bows in respect, the sort of emblem of the Tylorian glowing in the sunlight as he bows, and he walks away to the lady in blue.
Ooh.
As you walk over to her, she notices and kind of straightens. And as you're closer, you realize that she is a much younger woman, younger than the other people you've seen working here. Not child by any means, but definitely younger in features. And she straightens and kind of tugs at her robe sleeves. Yes?
Evening, madam. If you don't, I don't mean to intrude. He sort of does, but he doesn't want to show it. You seem to be a bit younger than the rest. When did you become a servant here?
Oh, quite recently. Um, I had a dream, a sort of visit, and I decided to start a internship here.
Interesting. Well, I suppose it is an honor to have you here. Um, what could you tell us about the events that's been happening, the storm and all the apparent commotion that's been happening? We were at the docks, but I'm not sure what else was going on in the city.
Well, I understand what you mean, but it was we were helping, and we did put out a warning a few days ago. I'm not sure what you mean by other commotion. The largest worry was the storm.
Mm-hmm. Sure, I was thinking primarily about the monsters that we had to fight. They were a part of the storm, or weren't they?
They are. When these storms happen, they draw out sea creatures, deep sea creatures. And I don't believe that many of them mean the harm they bring. They're just not used to being on land.
Hmm.
Especially the ones that come out this far away. I'm sure the creatures that are closer to the outpost are more aggressive than the ones that come up here.
The outpost?
Along the border, it's where they keep him. It.
Him? It? He starts tapping his foot sort of impatiently. Enough of the pronoun game. Give me some information.
It's, it's incredible. Very intriguing at the very least. A captured god.
Nani?
One does not capture a god.
That's what they're saying it is.
I mean, apparently you can kill a god, but I am curious about this. How did they capture this god?
It's different.
You all are from the inner continent, or aren't from this continent. It is mostly known along the coast here that near the city border of Miro is an outpost, a very large watchtower, where a general of sorts managed to capture what they are calling Diatrim, a lesser deity of the vast.
Hmm.
It is startling to think of it as a god, I'll admit. It can summon storms like this, and they just have it?
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, of course you couldn't be able to capture a god, much less a lesser god.
I mean, like a projection of a god. That might not be something to like brag over killing.
I mean, apparently gods are killable, so
Well, I mean,
perhaps it's only weak gods, or well, anyway.
Enough. Enough. Where might we find this?
Well, you would have to travel to the border city. I'm still learning all of the names of the towns and cities that are part of Miro. Some of them go so far out it's hard to consider them part of the country, but I suppose you could travel there by caravan. Sometimes they go through those towns. It's not part of the trading route, though, so you'd have to go off the path a little bit.
Mhm.
I also am not entirely sure if they're letting anyone other than high priests or prophets to see Diatrem.
Maybe they would offer a king.
What's his name?
Diatrem.
Diet Shrimp. Maybe I need to clean my kobold ears out.
Maybe we could. He turns to his partners. Maybe we could ask the king to summon up a caravan for us, and we make our way there after we check out this clown friend of ours.
Clown
think?
friend?
Yeah, just
Oh, yes, that one.
The Jester.
Seems reasonable.
Sure. Go to a pauper, then to see a god.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan to me. He turns to the lady. Well, thank you for the information. You have been a good help.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
And he bows in respect to her, almost towering over her as he does. And then he basically turns to everyone and says, I suppose we should be off. Is everyone feeling all right?
I think so.
Fine then. And he already just unprovoked begins to start moving his way out of the out of the temple.
As you sort of start to walk out, Astal kind of takes a step back. I think I'm going to stay here a while. I may or may not see you again.
He sort of mumbles to himself, you said that last time.
well, if you ever see a group of adventurers bragging about killing a dragon and a bunch of kobolds, I don't know, intimidate them.
Killing a... What are you talking about?
Did I not tell you my dramatic backstory? Oh no. So I served under a dragon. There was a bunch of kobolds. It was me, my mother, my dad, my brother, and my sister, and my brother, and Yip Yap explains basically his backstory to her.
She kind of crouches down to get just about eye level with you. He's not dead. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, he's spoken to me in dreams, and he gave me this, and he shows her the note in Thieves' Cant.
She kind of looks over the note, and something kind of flashes across her face, but she hides it in that quick second before giving Yip Yap a small smile. Yes. Interesting.
So yeah, I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna kill them.
I hope you do.
See, she agrees with me. Wish you two did.
Balgroth is just standing in the corner and leaning back, half snoring. Because the entire story just bored him again, so he fell asleep.
All right, let's go. We're off to see the Jester. The What's a Jester? Isn't that what Isaiah does when he casts spells?
A jester? A caster? What?
a jester. You know, I jester over here, I jester over there. I guess a court jester, that sounds more like what a king would do with his scepter.
Isaiah casts 9/10 of a vitriolic sphere and then thinks the better of it. Yep. I do occasionally move my hands a bit, yes.
He sort of silently prays. Tylurian prayed, I've already lost my life. Pray that I don't lose my sanity along with it.
In your head, you hear Gary just kind of like giving a yawn and sort of way. What was that, dude?
And
Whoa.
speak of the devil.
What's going on?
Oh, you missed it. We fought sea monsters.
Yo, that sounds cool. What they look like?
Ugly.
Yes, Balgroth, we fought sea monsters. Yep, gives him a sympathetic pat like he's losing his mind.
Rip.
He sort of looks at Yip Yap and then takes it back. I fought sea monsters.
Hey, I tried. That's rude. It's not my fault I'm small.
Yeah, he chuckles to himself as he walks out of the temple.
I used to be bigger till some self-righteous heroes came along and cut my tail off.
Well, dude, you gotta wake me up again if that ever happens. They are so cool looking. Like, they are so cool looking. Especially the ones that are, like, deeper below and all that weird, what's it called? Giganticism happened to them. That's crazy, man. Animals are so weird, you know?
Uh-huh. Okay.
So what are we doing now?
Whatever. We are going to be heading over to the castle. We have a court jester to interrogate.
Ooh, I once knew a jester, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe their name was just Chester. Huh. I'll think about it.
Oh,
let
yes.
you know.
Please let me know what you find out, he says incredibly sarcastically.
I will. And like,
And then instantly, oh God.
You hear like a door, like in the very, very far back of your mind, you hear just like the sound of a door like slamming.
Does my brain have rooms? Is my
What?
brain a mansion?
A mind palace, you say?
I was about to say, stole my joke!
Balgroth, what is your interaction with Cortez internally? You seem quite communicative internally.
He's talking to me in my head.
In your head.
Perhaps later I'll try to read your thoughts and see how it looks. This is fascinating.
How can you read thoughts?
Well, you have to be able to read first, so that's a prerequisite.
I can read thieves' can't.
Burn.
I don't know if I'd call that reading.
Burn.
Well,
What does this say?
I look at it. Well, clearly it's encoded, because that's just lingo.
Aha!
It says skibbity phantom tax. What is yacht in this context? Yip Yap, are you the Rizzler in this scenario?
I don't know what... These are symbols. Like... These are symbols.
Balgroth falls to his knees. He's having a heart attack.
Clearly the word means something.
This symbol means I. It also means a few other things depending on the context. This symbol means myth. It can also mean bad or don't. But context. This is how you refer to someone else, or one way to do it. This means like ditto. So it means I miss you too, and it's from my god, who doesn't talk to you because you suck. And he just prattles on by.
Like halfway trying to get up, he just looks at he looks at Isaiah and just says, "He sure showed you."
This is bullying.
You shouldn't have said any of those words on my live stream.
What are you talking about? I didn't read the bad words Yip Yap had on there.
The man is still sitting here memeing, and now he's like, "Why are you bullying me? Why are you bullying me?"
In the remastered edition, this segment will
Listen,
be
Yip Yap,
mostly
just because you
replayed.
spell it with a K doesn't mean it's not racist.
What?
That joke was personally for me. I loved it. Okay.
Whoa.
Oh, that's funny. Oh man. So the palace, was it?
Yes, the chalice in the palace. Or was it the vessel with the pestle? Anyway.
The chalice in the palace doing gestures with the jester.
Anyway,
Let's go through, keep it true.
Oh gosh.
with Yip Yap leading the way, whilst he doesn't really know which way he's going.
I pick him up and point him in the direction so that he thinks that he's walking and that he knows the way when he doesn't know a darn thing.
He just keeps walking while in air. His eyes are closed.
He just lightly just turns him every direction when we need to go. We need to.
Can Yip Yap make a perception check for me?
I mean, he can sure try.
That's all I ask.
He could sure give it the good old college try.
No, he cannot. Do you want Fossil to try?
Still better than me. I mean, one better than me, but still better than me.
What does Fossil peel back Yip Yap's eyes to see?
So Yip Yap has his eyes closed, and Fossil notices a sort of lumbering shadow moving around nearby, kind of in the back alleys of the buildings you're walking in front of.
Okay.
And starts like patting at Yip Yap's head really aggressively.
Did they look suspicious, or is it just like a figure moving?
It looks like you can't recognize the shape of it, the form. You can't tell if it's like Balgroth and Isaiah or if it's like some other sort of creature. And it just appears to be very clearly following you as you walk.
Yip Yap very chalantly pulls out a little piece of copper wire and casts Yip Yap's limited data message and just goes, Balgroth, we seem to be being followed by someone. I'm not sure. Basil just let me know. Yeah. What you doing?
Quickly following behind him. Let's see. Can't believe I'm doing this while I sort of look. Well, I look towards the direction that Yip Yap is pointing at. Do I see anything?
You also kind of see a shadowy thing that is moving around in the back alleys between the buildings you're walking in front of. And you notice every now and then there's like a glint of something yellowish that goes in and out.
I go to investigate.
Roll and what are you trying to do? Just to try and see it?
Yes.
Roll an investigation.
You mind if I use my inspo?
Go ahead.
Wow, what a waste of an inspo.
Dang. So you get close to it, but it sort of just jumps up and out of your view, and you hear like scurrying up one of the buildings.
Ooh. Let's see. Was it still like how far was it before it, dropped out of my view?
10 feet.
Let me check something real quick. I cast as I'm watching it leap before it jumps out of view, I cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Oh dear.
So I can track it.
Okay. Are you gonna try and follow it now?
Yes.
Okay. It went up. You find that the alley that you followed it down is a dead end, and there is only sky above you.
Is there a ladder anywhere?
There is a sort of fire escape deal, but it's 3 stories above you.
Let's see. What do I have? How sturdy is hempen rope?
It should say how much it can hold, I believe, like 100 pounds. I don't know. It's hemp rope is genuinely pretty strong. It's the stuff they use on like boats.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw some hemp rope that I have up to the fire escape so I can climb up to it.
Do you have a grappling hook?
No, I mean I just throw it over so that it hangs over one of the edges.
You just tie Yip Yap to it. There's my grappling hook.
So what's holding the other end of it? Are you?
No, it's long enough because I have like the whole pack of it. It goes over one of the holes on the fire escape, drops down, so I can just use both ends, hold both ends. And
I think he's like looping it over.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to understand. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Looping it over so I can climb up.
Roll. I'll say that you can throw it over the ladder. I'm not going to make you roll for that because that would be dumb. But roll an athletics check to climb with the rope. Also, Isaiah and Yip Yap, what are y'all up to?
So he just, why is he climbing? Remind me of this again. I'm not totally clear on that.
What?
Why is he climbing?
So you guys just sort of Yip Yap saw the thing. Isaiah, you don't know what's going on yet. And Balgroth has just gone down an alleyway. And you can see at the end of it, he is throwing his rope over a fire escape rail and starting to climb.
I see. I guess I'll climb with him.
Yeah, Yip Yap's gonna just. Do you have like greaves?
He shouts at Isaiah, "Use your familiar to track this thing."
What?
Do you have?
Fine,
Do you
I
have
send
like?
my crow after it, whatever it is, but I don't know where it is.
Do you have like greaves in your armor, Balgroth?
Yeah.
Okay, Yip Yap's just gonna cling on to that, just be hoisted with you.
Fossil kind of fly hovers next to you.
What you doing there, boss? Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's a 22. I'm climbing. I'm climbing.
Okay. So, Isaiah's crow goes up, and are you like looking through its eyes now, or did you just?
Sure, yeah, I can look through its eyes. Yeah.
You see kind of the spanning tops of storefronts, varying levels, but not too much, and there is something running over the tops of the buildings, just sort of towards the other end of the city.
What does it look like?
Hmm?
What does it look like?
You can't tell. It's far away enough, and it's moving in such an odd manner. It's there. Whatever it is, it's wearing a cloak. You can make that out as it kind of moves around them, but the rest of their body is. You cannot tell what's going on.
I see. Well, I guess I'll have the crow keep following, and then I'll try to follow as well.
Okay. Balgroth and Yip Yap, you get to the top of the first building, and you see Isaiah's crow take off in a direction.
How far away is it?
Let's zoom in a little bit here. Say that y'all are here. It's heading this way. It is about this far from you.
So I believe that's in throwing range.
Across 6 buildings? Sure. I mean, I don't know how.
Shoot, I'm strong enough.
I guess 120 feet. That's the
yeah.
typical max for throwing things. That would be good enough. What are you throwing? Are you throwing Yip Yap?
Throw my spear.
Please.
I'm throwing my spear.
Okay. Roll to hit, and your hunter's mark gives you advantage. Does it?
Let me check. Well, until it ends, I deal an extra D6 damage to it whenever I actually hit it.
Right.
Oh, crap. I had my bless on. So that's 12.
Your spear glances off of their body, and that causes them to like slip on the roof tile and just plummet.
Let's see. I start making my way to that building where the thing fell, where the guy fell.
All right, Isaiah, what are you doing on the ground?
I'm going to climb up after Balgroth.
Okay.
Why are we chasing this thing? Can I ask that, Balgroth?
Because it scared Yip Yap, and I'm trying to figure out what it is.
You know what, then? I will cast Fly on myself, and I will fly.
Fly like a bird.
Isaiah just ascends.
Yes.
The arms of an angel.
So
Not paid enough.
that spell gives you 60 feet of flight and movement.
Yes.
Okay. You are able to get ahead of Balgroth a little bit.
120 if I'm dashing. So, yeah.
You get to the building kind of just like a few seconds before him. And it kind of, the alley is sort of this small, it's hard to tell how, it fell in. Other than falling in, it's hard to see how something would get inside of there. The alleys there are sort of just larger cracks in the wall rather than actual backways. And this person has sort of fallen about 20 feet and landed on a couple bushes in this very piece of a park. There's bushes, green grass, and a odd looking tree. And then Balgroth and Yip Yap catch up to Isaiah.
Do I see him?
Yeah, you see him too. He's kind of trying to get out of the bush.
Should I assume stop?
I want to see if I can do something here, but I'm not necessarily sure if I could. I can.
Go on.
I can see him, right?
Yeah, he's below you. You can see him. You can make
I
out his
use-
shape in the bush.
I use command,
Oh,
Mm.
commanding him to drop or to kneel. Either one that works.
wisdom saving throw. Okay. Hold on. It doesn't stop moving around in the bush.
Then I sort of try to get as close to him as I can, while I'm above him, just looking above him before I'm trying not to attack him just yet.
So you're just kind of standing over the edge of the roof, looking down?
Yeah, and I sort of tell him, instead of commanding him, don't move, or you will enter into a world of pain.
Roll for intimidation.
"13.
It does stop moving and kind of curls into the bush, and you can see now the pieces of its cloak or jacket has gotten caught on the bush and is sort of sitting on top of it, whereas the person itself is inside.
I'm not going to do anything else at the moment. Does anybody want to do something before I
You're not gonna
before
go into the bush?
If he starts running, I'm going to be attacking him. I want to give you guys a bit of a warning before I do.
I'm just gonna ready. If he runs, I'm gonna use a new attack offensive spell that I have.
Isaiah, what about you?
I mean, I guess I'll just sort of ready in action in the event that he runs to restrain him.
And I'll take out my Blade of Vengeance and ready in action too if I see any more movement.
So you're just gonna kill this guy.
Oh yeah. Or just severely injure him.
You're all just getting ready to jump on this dude the second he makes
Yes,
it.
I'm gonna be peaceful about it.
I'm not.
Oh, I can tell.
Hey,
So-
the last time Yip Yap was tailed, it was a very negative interaction. So
And he lost his tail.
exactly.
So, the movement stops, and it all kind of stops moving, and you start to see, like, slowly, like, coming outside of the bush are like black feathers, kind of really slowly trying in like a. You can tell it's supposed to be in a non-intimidating way. They're all shaky and nervous.
Keeping an eye on him, or it, I start making my way down the building.
Roll an athletics to climb down.
Feeling that he has the advantage, Yip Yap will remain above.
11. I sort of slip a few times.
So you land kind of close to the bush and the odd-looking tree. and the thing inside of the bush kind of starts to slowly climb out, and you can, without the cloak on, you can see the like avian head as it kind of like hides in the bush.
He sort of halfway kneels to get, or he does straight up kneel to get down to his level and bends to get a good look. An Aarakocra?
It clacks its beak at you.
Does Yip Yap know what these are?
Looks like a big bird.
I hesitate the instinct to grab it by its neck.
I don't know any Big Bird lines from Sesame Street.
And I simply motion for it to come forward.
It, like, kind of moving on the bulk of its wings, crawls out and tries to tug on its cloak again over its feathers as it just sort of twitches its head back and forth, looking at you with the dull eyes.
He sort of looks at him, sort of not necessarily pitying him, but curious. Why are you chasing us, or why are you stalking us?
It clacks its beak again and sort of looks up at Yip Yap.
What is it that you want with him?
It twitches its head a bit more and clacks its teeth.
There's teeth inside the beak?
Not teeth, beak.
Is this boy and his heron right here?
Oh my goodness. Are you saying that you want to eat him?
It shakes its head.
Then what do you want?
Shiny.
Uh-oh. He looks up. Yip Yap, I think he wants something from you.
Like what?
I don't know. Apparently something shiny. Which is apparently everything you have.
Yip Yap will try to hop down, but suddenly halt in the air.
Whoa, okay.
Okay then.
And he's just gonna walk a little forward and go, "Huh? Why aren't I down?
Cartoon logic on Yip Yap.
Why aren't I down?"
How high up is he?
It's like 20 feet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna reach up and get him.
Dang.
Yip Yap, I think you're floating. He points up at Yip Yap and points down to the bird, or looks down at the bird. This is what you wanted?
Something shiny.
Yeah, of course, but I don't think he's gonna give it to you. He's a thief.
Mm-mm-mm.
Maybe if Yip Yap stops the spell and plummets right into the bush.
Okay.
Ow.
Do you land on the cloak?
Lands in a bush.
In the bush.
Oh. So you want to hear about Yip Yap No Tail?
It's more about what you have than who you are. Yep, yeah.
That is a very objectifying way to look at someone's value, Balgroth.
It's not
Big
being
words.
But by the way, he sort of turns the bird to face him. What even is your name?
Name.
Yeah. What's your name?
Yip Yap.
What? No. Yip stands up and falls fully into the bush and then crawls out. No. No. I'm Yip No Tail. You're big, tall, fluffy, feathery guy.
Is this
Or
a,
I'm Yip Yap No Tail.
No, I'm Yip No Tail.
does
You're
this
a
bird
big, feathery thing.
look like some kind of like magpie or like copy bird, parrot of some sort?
I believe.
Kenku.
I sort of
Kenku.
whisper. I
Oh, it
believe.
is Kenku. Okay.
So we're roughly the same. Actually, no, he would be taller than me. Never mind. Kenku's.
Oh, then he's like half a foot. He's a short little guy.
I'm like Yip No Tail. You're fluffy, feathery guy.
You're fluffy, feathery guy.
No. I have red scales.
The clapbacks on this guy.
I have red scales. You have black feathers and a gold bill. And he kind of gently taps it.
Its bill isn't gold. Its eyes are gold.
And what color is its bill?
Black.
Black.
And a black bill. Bah, bah, bah.
Hey, I like this guy. We should keep him.
Yes.
No. I can say more than just things I hear.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
Perhaps.
You know
So
what?
you.
You know what? He sort of lifts up the bird, and he sort of looks at him all around, and then puts him on his shoulder. I shall care for the child and raise him as my own.
That's a child. What if that's a full grown? Like, does Yip know anything about Kenku?
It's a big bird.
Big bird.
He looks at him. He looks at him and says, I shall teach you the ways of the blade.
Yes.
We're not calling him Yip No Tail. That's my name.
Well, he said it's his name, and I think it would be rude to deny him that right.
I think.
Isaiah says, totally knowing what's going on.
I think you're rude. Why don't we call him something like Click Clack doesn't stop being.
That just seemed punitive.
I don't even know what that means. So.
I'm thinking of naming him Falcor, and he starts scratching under his chin.
I like
What do you
that.
think?
Falcor has a nice ring to it.
And he continues to scratch under his neck, and under his chin, under his beak. Well then, Falcor it is.
Balgroth.
See, he called me dad.
No. You're supposed to be my surrogate father.
Oh, this all seems very healthy on all parts.
See, I turn to Isaiah and say, see, first sibling rivalry.
Yes, they look just like each other too. I can hardly tell them apart.
The Kenku.
You'll hardly be able to tell us apart when I cut your eyes out.
Ooh, that's a threat.
Oh, that sounds like something a new person would say. Is that
Hey.
Falcor?
Yep. Does 14 hit?
Yeah.
Not with a shield spell. Where's my shield spell?
So
It's only wild magic.
Cool. Roll a d100.
No!
So first off, before we get to that, yep. As you're looking up at this creature, it starts to like tilt on Balgroth's shoulder until it's falling down at you in almost a jump. But you manage to make a sort of fiery looking shield that gives you time to step out of the way before it can fall on you.
Right.
Wow.
So he's dangerous.
Yep. For the next minute, you can't talk. And anytime you do, pink bubbles float out of your mouth.
I say, Balgoth, control your children.
He pets the bird, sort of grabs Yip so he doesn't talk, and puts him on his other shoulder and just walks off.
There's just a trail of pink bubbles behind us perpetually as we're moving on.
Shiny! And the Kenku kind of awkwardly flies up to Yip and uses one of its claws to grab at his pouch before flying up over the building.
No, Yip is gonna smack his hand.
And he sort of and Balgroth sort of tries to grab the Kenku and sort of bring it back. No.
Yip, roll strength check.
Oh, check?
Check it.
Well, that's not gonna really change. I have a +0 either way.
A save works. A save, I think, is what I meant. You, in this sort of, there's a little game of tug of war that happens between the Kenku and you with the pouch. And you eventually get pulled off of Balgroth's shoulder, who grabs at you and manages to keep the Kenku from flying away further, but is still trying to get away.
Fossil is gonna come from under the hood, come up, and just bite the Kenku's hand.
No!
My crow is going to peck at Fossil so he backs off.
My son!
Excuse! I am being robbed! I am your teammate!
What happens first? Fossil or the...
Fossil!
Have Fossil roll to hit.
No!
Jesus.
Yeah, boy.
So I'm casting this through the crow.
No.
Okay.
We need to protect Falcor.
I guess that'd be a deck, so...
The drama.
The bloodshed. Where's the romance?
Is a 15 hit?
The Kenku? Yes, Fossil bites down on its leg.
No, it's fighting on whatever is grabbing onto the pouch to get it to let go.
Well, it was like its foot leg thing.
Oh.
And it drops the bag, but kind of scratches at your face before flying away.
I'm going to morph my crow into a rat and have it cast Shocking Grasp on Fossil for his inappropriate behavior.
Excuse me, no! No, that's a familiar.
Yes.
Also, that's very appropriate.
And I'm just
Familiars can't even attack. So
If I have to recast Fossil one more time because of you, Yip is gonna start stealing your resources to do it.
well, how much health does Fossil have?
How much health do familiars have?
Depends on the familiar.
Normally none. Or next
That's
to
not
none.
true.
No, they have some health.
Yeah, they all have health.
So I'm thinking just because the spell save is like 10, it has 10 health.
Yeah, we'll just
So
say
it-
10 health.
Yeah, at least 10.
These.
So it's fine. I'm just sitting here watching my bird fly away. And I'll be like, is it still within like range for Balgroth to try to reach up and grab it?
No, it's fully flying away.
I will fly. Get
Isaiah, get back my bird!
Falcor, please. I know Yip Yap is jealous of you, but you can have some shiny of his if you would like it if you come back.
No, literally,
Roll a persuasion check.
Balgroth pulls out one of his coins and starts waving it.
Oh, we got homies for life.
Sir!
The Kenku kind of like stops in mid-flight and looks down at Balgroth holding up the coin. And Balgroth, make a dex save, please. In hearing Isaiah's voice about gaining something from coming back, it sees Balgroth holding up the coin and shoots down, grabbing the coin out of your hand and taking off in the other direction.
Well, you know what? At a certain point, we do have to kick them out of the nest. Yip Yap, it's been a pleasure knowing you. I think you'll be all right, though. Balgroth, I'm sorry.
One of the bubbles floats out of his mouth with a cartoonish sensor bar over it that you feel was meant for your character.
It's a middle finger.
Wow.
I didn't say anything about the overall
Figure
shape
made
of
out
the bubble.
bubbles.
Oh, that's not a letter. That's a threat.
That's not a letter, that's a threat.
That's not a bubble. That's a.
And Balgroth just
Let's
hangs
see.
his arms and his
If we
head
ain't
low.
fighting, I got spells to cast today. What could I be casting on Yip Yap for fun?
Balgroth just hangs his arms and his head low. Now a coin, now an entire gold coin short.
And there we are going to take a short break.
Yeah, he was. He flip flopped. He
Wow.
really did flip flop.
I'm trying to think. I think that like John Gill might have thought that. Did he? I thought he thought that circumcision of the heart was the sign of the.
I really hate to be rude, but I would like to.
It's like, oh yeah, we got stuff to do.
This is a lovely conversation that was
You
going
said
on.
this is the third time you've used your unlimited power.
I've remembered that I can. Also, the rule of 3, I had to do it a third time.
You had
He
to do
said,
it to
it's
him.
because I'm green, isn't it?
Okay. Anyway,
Because I am whiter than mayonnaise. I understand.
so we get back. The Kenku has flown away, and Balgroth is in
Depression.
to shreds, you say.
Depression.
Oh, and Yip Yap, you didn't take any, it didn't take any HP from you, but it, scratched your face, and it kind of hurts a little bit.
Oh.
Also, you can talk again.
Oh, yeah, God.
Oh,
I also have this now.
Ooh,
nice.
biblically accurate dice.
Oh yeah, it's dragon dice. Now I can do my own rolls, but I probably suck at them. But so please carry on.
Now to the Jester.
Yes.
Oh yeah, sure, we'll go. I mean, he sort of slumps his way over until we reach the castle again.
As you walk up to the castle, you see a different guard from the last time you were there, sort of leaning against his pole arm. Not asleep, but just in sort of a relaxed sort of way.
Does he see us coming towards him?
No, he's looking the other way.
Balgroth sort of aggressively coughs at him.
Um, um, hello. What is your business?
We are here to, of course, make a few requests from the prince, but primarily we are here to see some of the members of the court.
Right. The princes are busy right now, but I can send a messenger and you can come back later.
Oh yeah, sure. Tell a messenger that a prince of the kingdom is waiting outside the palace door, waiting for someone to let him in. That will definitely make you guys look good.
I understand who you are, sir.
Ooh.
We just aren't allowed to interrupt the brothers when they're meeting together. It's a completely private matter.
Then where's your jester? I'm not primarily looking for the princess yet.
You're looking for. Oh. I don't know. He goes into town sometimes.
Did you see him go into town?
I don't really see him come or go, but I guess. I haven't heard him, so he's probably in town.
Where do you think he might have went?
The park.
If he's not at the park, then I will be back.
All right.
He rolls his non-existent eyes and turns on his heel.
Bogoth, what's a park? Wow, what's a park? So I'm assuming Yip Yap's on your shoulder.
A park, Yip Yap, is an open field that is generally a place for recreation.
Oh, we normally use those to fight the goblins in open warfare.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a goblin battle line?
Yes, I've, of course, killed a few goblins in my day.
So have I. I have some notches for every time I killed one.
Okay, Killmonger. Isaiah, do you have anything to say about this predicament?
Well, I suppose we find the jester unless you want to sneak into the castle.
Oh, no, I don't sneak. I just barge right in.
Well, I wouldn't recommend that.
You would recommend that. You don't have the hit points.
I'm fairly certain we're comparably resilient, Paulgroff. But why would we want to anger the royalty?
They don't want to anger me.
Right. Well, why don't we find the jester we're looking for and then worry about ceremony?
Sure.
Also, Paulgroff, if you have to ask people if they know who you are, that may say something about yourself.
Well, at least they talk to me.
I didn't talk to them.
Exactly.
There's a moral here, Balgroff.
Of course. And just like usual, whatever comes out of your mouth, I do not care. Now, come on. Let us keep an ear out for the jingling of bells.
He's this close to letting the word fireball come out of his mouth. But
Bogoth.
he exercises
Balgroff.
admirable self-control.
Bogoth, I stopped believing in kobold claws years ago. What do you think I am, 5? Jingling of bells.
You aren't?
Huh?
You aren't?
No.
Okay.
I'm like an adult in human years. Not exactly in kobold years. I'm like a teen, I guess, or whatever it's called. Enough.
Okay. I guess they begin to make their way to the park in the middle of all this shenanigans.
So
Missing the actual joke of Yip Yap believing in a kobold version of Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
can you all roll a perception, please, to look for the jester?
I can sure try.
I got the guy in the sky circling. Ooh.
Oof.
Sorry, was that? Okay, that was the right.
How? Okay.
What does a jester even look like? Everyone looks like a joke to me.
The jadedness of Yip Yap's skepticism of Santa Claus has allowed him to see clearly.
I can see clearly now. The snow is gone.
So, Yip Yap, you see him first. And the reason why you see him is because you remember how his sort of face looked and the odd kind of happy expression on his face caught your attention. Whereas with Balgroth and Isaiah, it was more his clothes that caught your attention.
Mm.
You see him in a much simpler outfit. Just kind of, he has like a bell that he's ringing for no apparent reason.
There he is. Look at that face. So facey.
I would like to detect magic. Do I see any magic about this one?
Nope.
I use my divine sense. Do I sense any good or evil on him?
There's nothing coming from the Jester, but the overall, it's very light. You almost barely notice it. But something's up. Not exactly with him, not exactly with where you are. Something is up.
I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. Why don't we talk to him?
Do you want to go talk to him, or should one of us?
Isaiah, you talk to him. I'll keep an eye on him.
All right. Now, just to recap from last time, the Jester was often taking strolls at the docks and wasn't there when the old king ran away, correct?
I think so, yes.
And that's sort of all we know. So we're suspecting he has to do with the king's murder.
Yep.
All right.
Well, the king's attack. He's not.
Well, yeah, yes, I guess the attack on the king. Okay. Then I'm gonna throw this puppy up, and I'm gonna walk up to El Jester.
Oh, and while he's basically within 15 feet of the Jester, I also cast. Actually, let me see if I can do this. My brand new spell. Zone of Truth.
Now he now knows that we've cast a spell on him.
Yeah. Charisma saving throw.
Darn.
Are you sure you want to do this yet?
I'll withhold it for now.
I can read his mind, so like I'll know if he's like, but what if I lied about this? Or
Right.
this sucker gonna believe it.
I'll hold back for now. And if he detects anything, then I shall cast Zone of Truth on him.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Excuse me, my good man. Would I be correct in assessing you as the Jester of the Royal Palace?
He sort of moves his head against the tree to look at you and smiles. It's not overly creepy in the same way that one priest you once met was. But there's an uncanny sense to it all the same. How do?
Yes. I quite well. And yourself?
He kind of points his bell up to the sky, which is still sort of settling from the storm. Sky is deep green and pulsing. Wind is soft but prepared.
Am I getting anything from him?
You can tell he's just having a conversation with you. Nothing particularly is going on in his mind.
All right. Well, we've actually are looking into a number of things that have happened recently, and I believe you're a regular around the docks, correct?
I tabble and go every once and so.
Yes. And do you ever notice strange things while you're there?
Smell like rotting seaweed.
Now, on the day that the king was attacked, were you at the docks?
Propose or no? A crow could go.
Propose or no, a crow could go?
Mhm.
What does that even mean?
Yes. Well, if you were there, did you notice anything strange or noteworthy on that day?
Speak softly and know. Knowing. No.
Am I getting anything from this guy?
Nope.
I think he's nuts.
This is a thoughtless potato. All right. Am I getting this? Like he does have brain activity, right? Like it's not like I'm casting this on a pumpkin or something. Okay, just making sure.
He's just thinking that this is an interesting conversation.
Yes. Well, some people said that you were conspicuously absent that day. Do you have any idea where you would have been, or why you wouldn't have been at the docks that day?
The air quality is mauve, speckled.
I see. And you didn't see anything of the old king running or anything of the sort at the palace?
He kind of leans in, looking around. Speak now, forever hold your silence. A wedding of thoughts and words conspires here.
Conspires to what end, friend?
All the world's a box. Make a fort.
All the words of box what? Bake for it?
Make a fort.
Oh, make a fort. Do you always speak in rhymes and riddles?
Or perhaps chimes and chittles?
See nothing and feel everything.
That's not an answer.
Within Balgroth, the skeleton in his head begins to uncharacteristically rattle in frustration.
Do you know anything about the attack on the king or the events surrounding it that wouldn't be public knowledge? I'm sure as a jester you see a lot.
Question clouds and swim through the air.
Are we gonna get anywhere with this guy?
Do you have a pipe on you? No. Yes.
Yeah, pulls out a flintlock pistol.
So we could swim through the air if you wanted, but it would be easier if you just answered straightly. Once or twice, we'd appreciate greatly.
Everything that has happened has never really not happened.
My head hurts.
So then why did what's happened happen?
Sticks and stones break bones.
Tempting. And
Ring.
you just say ring?
As he's waving his bell, yeah.
And there's nothing magical about this guy or the bell, and he's not thinking anything weird.
This bro ain't even funny.
Certainly strange. Not funny haha, but funny weird. I'd like to probe into its mind deeper. In the words of John Jones, I'll have to try harder.
Borgullet!
Mind's liver!
Borgullet!
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh yeah.
What's the save?
16.
If interrogation was an eldritch god, it would be Borgullet.
So what happened with his thoughts?
So he has aphantasia.
What is that?
His thoughts are not pictures.
All right.
But as you probe deeper, you start to sort of hear a voice beneath his. And it's saying just sort of softly, "A bell rung is saved. A bell thrown is grave."
Interesting. Well, I think this person may be a few bells short of a tower, but is it his voice doing the "a bell rung is saved"?
Yeah.
Rung is saved. A bell.
Is there somebody taking over his mind or manipulating his mind, or is he just this stupid?
Probably the latter.
Oh gosh.
A bell rung is saved.
And he
May I
kind of,
see your bell?
as you say that, he kind of he makes it fall into his hand and stop ringing, and then looks down at it and up at you. Far along, further on, far away. Have a nice day. And he starts to walk off.
Why are you called a jester? It's the hands thing, right?
Balgroth contemplates stabbing himself with his own blade of vengeance.
Yo, I'll
What?
call my
Yip,
girl a jester, cause I only got just her.
Yip, make a wisdom saving throw.
I don't have much of those.
After you
Go.
ask your question, you hear in your mind, because a jest is like a chest of drawers. There could always be something fun inside.
Who has
Does that mean
drawers
that we
in
break
there?
him? Does that mean that we can break him open like candy?
Who has drawers in their chest? There's no room. It's all flesh.
We're going to end the session there.
All right.
What? What?
Today's episode has been brought to you by Mary J.
Right. So,
Oh my goodness.
I hope that this was an okay session. And I hope you enjoyed playing it this week. We should be good for next week. But how many? Yeah. The next 2 weeks should be good. But
Cool.
then after that, I will be out.
Okay.
So thank you all for playing and watching, and I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.